everyone that joined. I am sharpening chainsaw chains tonight. Hello to the 8 people out there. Sorry, I'm trying to get set up here. I just started the stream. All right, finally getting started. Check this. Good angle. All right. Slowly getting started here. Just getting everything set up. Still getting set up. The last stream I did, I worked on a 462, replaced the piston, replaced a couple other parts inside of it. That saw is now actually running and good, even though a other saw shop had said it's not fixable. But certainly runs now, so I don't know what they're talking about. Checking these chains that I just threw through the cleaner, making sure they're all actually clean before I go to sharpen them. Some of them are pretty dirty, but they've spent about an hour in my ultrasonic cleaner, so they're pretty good now, except for maybe this one can go through again. Now I'm switching over everything to the smaller drive link chains, so I can do those last once they're all cleaned up. Gotta get them in the cleaner first though. I gotta dump the water yet from the last batch. All that dirty, oily, wood-filled water. So, yeah, right now I'm still slightly getting set up for doing my stream, but yeah, I sharpen chainsaw chains and work on chainsaws themselves. Tonight's just going to be doing the chains, and I've got quite a few of them to do tonight. I think I found 13 of them in the trucks the other day, so I've got to go through all those, plus all the ones that I had sitting here. I already burned through one of them before I started streaming. Just checking my grinding head. It's the 135. Of course, it's all stuck together. Why wouldn't it be? Just don't loop on yourself again. I'll go on next just so I can get that out of the way, because this is a long chain. It's a 42-inch chain. I think I got another one in here to get sharpened that just was clean. This thing's getting clogged up with all of the shit in it. Slowly dumping the water out. So you have 34 people out there. Oh, hello everyone. I'm just still getting set up. It's going to take me a couple minutes before I can actually start grinding. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. I do regularly check the chat. Right now I'm trying to get the water and gunk out of this thing so I can start the next batch of chains. So I use a ultrasonic cleaner. It's the same thing jewelers use to clean jewelry. To clean off the chainsaw chains, it's probably the safest and best way I've found to clean the chains prior to sharpening, to get all of that burned on lignin and oil off of the chains. That and Dawn dish soap, it breaks it down really well and it just kind of comes off and dissolves into the water. Far better way to do it than some of the more unsafe ways I've seen people to do it. Doesn't waste gas or anything else. Like some guys I've seen use ultrasonic cleaners, but they'll stick the chains in jars and put gasoline and fuel mix in them. It's just nearly boiling hot water and soap. Works great. Water is nearly limitless, and soap is cheap. Gas isn't. I left that valve open and dumped a little bit of my clean water. Got plenty of chains to go through. Alright, well, got a couple thumbs up before I even started. Alright, I'm already set up on this chain. Did a test pass So this grinder's in Oregon. It's a 620-120. It's their more expensive grinder for chain sharpening, but it's got a hydraulic clamp in it to hold the chains in place instead of manually doing it. That way I can kind of work a little faster going through chains. I know there's automated ones out there, but they're, instead of $600, they're $2,500. And I've seen videos of them. I'm not a huge fan either. One of the things you really got to watch out for when you're sharpening with a grinder is overheating the cutting head, because you lose that temper in the chain, causing them to dull faster. And those automatic grinders just shove the grinding head right down in and don't account for any heat buildup in the cutting heads. So I prefer this method. It's still very quick. Even when I'm trying to burn through 30 chains in a night, I can still do it. Versus, sure, an automatic grinder, I get a couple of seconds of break while I'm sharpening, but it's not worth it because it doesn't automatically load chains up for you. You have to keep swapping them out. You can't totally walk away from the thing. Still no chat. Hope you all had a good Christmas. Got to spend time with my family, which was nice. Alright, all done with that side. Switching it over. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. Even if it's chainsaw related, sharpening related, tree work related, or even something totally off topic. I don't mind answering questions. Be something totally random too. Even like history stuff too. I collect stuff from the World Wars. Anything from the early to mid 1900s. It's kind of my hobby, and what I really like to do is history stuff. Any questions related to that would be kind of nice. It's more of what I wanted this YouTube channel to be anyway, but figured I might as well build up subscribers while I'm doing actual work. For some reason, this draws a lot of people. It's kind of nice. Like right now, I've got 63 people watching, which somehow is more than some people. I gotta say, I'm pretty lucky with getting a lot of viewers, even though it went from 63 to 36. Still a lot more than some, so I'm very glad and lucky that someone out there finds this interesting, like I do. Alright. I gotta put some more oil in here. So all these chains go through a soapy water bath. So I use WD-40 to displace the water and get a light coat of oil on these chains so that they don't flash rust as I'm sharpening them. Every single one of them gets a quick oil bath before they get hung up to dry. And of course I just put this through itself. These 135s are not fun to try and untangle. I gotta get set up on here. So I go through every single cutting head and then I come back around on each chain and do all the depth gauges after the cutting heads are sharpened like you're supposed to. It's a good angle. Alright, so also cleaning each of the chains before sharpening them. One, it's a professionalism thing. It looks much better if you turn the chains back over to a customer where they're clean and not dirty. Two, it helps increase the longevity of my grinding head. So I'm not trying to get through all of the dirt and grime and everything else that's on these cutting heads when I get them. There's oil and all kinds of stuff all over them. Burned on lignin. Sometimes, depends on who it was, might have got into rocks and everything else. It just has all kinds of dirt all over them, and I don't need to ruin my $99 diamond grinding wheel every set of chains I sharpen. I would prefer not to do that. Still no chats. Got the heater out in my garage, and it's just a little teeny heater, but it's getting warm in here. It's currently freezing rain outside, and it's pretty dang cold. Glad that out in the garage it's nice and toasty warm. Should probably put a thermometer out here so I can actually tell how warm it is. Shouldn't have two more cutting heads on that side. it. Switching sides. 70-some people watching. Hello, Potawak, I guess. Is that an actual name, or is that just whatever you came up with? All right. I definitely hit something with this chain on my side of it, the side facing me. Just normally when I'm sharpening chains, I notice most damage is always on the left side of the chain, which is no, it's typically on the right side of the chain, because it's always where if they're trying to do a flush cut and it's the lowest piece to the ground and they're hitting rocks and dirt and stuff. Yeah, so I normally try and start the first pass through facing me. That way I can keep the cutting heads even as I go around. This time I did not, but it's working out because it's not that bad. Just a little bit more excessive wear on this side than the other. But it's still very close within the play of the cutting head. I can get it. Right where I want it. Right. So if anyone out there likes chainsaw related content or even history content, especially related to the World Wars, that's what more of my long form videos are going to turn into here in the future. Please leave us hit subscribe, because I'm trying to work towards 500 subscribers, and it'll help out. That way I can get there a little bit sooner. I think I'm only like 30 away. This chain's done. I mean, I got 92 people watching right now. Even if one of you subscribe, that would definitely help. I mean, anything helps. I'm just trying to remonetize my channel, because I used to be monetized years ago. I had uploaded some gun-related content to this channel, and I ended up deleting the majority of the videos and hadn't done anything with this in like 13 years. So it got demonetized by just not doing anything for a very, very long time. I'm trying to get back there slowly. Alright, let this cutting head slow down before I dig it into where I don't want it to go. Getting warm. Go down to a t-shirt. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, if I would have just started cutting, that would have been bad. I've taken way too much off. That's about where I want to be. Let's see. So ideally, I'm actually only taking less than 1 millimeter off of each cutting head, unless there's severe damage to the cutting head caused by hitting rocks or concrete or metal in trees and everything else. So ideally, it's really less than 1 millimeter. It's just touching up each of these cutting heads. But occasionally, I'm sure in at least one of these chains, out of the probably 30 that I have, somebody hit something they shouldn't have, and I'll end up having to take a large portion of the tooth out, or just totally replace the chain. So that happens plenty. I've had many chains come back to get sharpened that have either hit nails or other stuff that people have had in trees, and it'll rip the cutting heads right off of the chain. And I run by, if there's 2 or more cutting heads missing, I just replace the chain. It's not worth having an uneven cut or losing any performance over not having a good chain. But that's just me personally. You can run a chain that only has like 2 teeth on it if you want, but you're not going to be cutting very fast on anything. End up wasting a lot of time, and since all these chains are for a company and all we do is trimming and removals, it's all production work, so you kind of don't want to lose a lot of time because your equipment isn't good. Everything needs to be sharp and well maintained. Alright, that side's done. Uh, 107 people watching and everyone's quiet. I appreciate all the viewers. No matter who you are or what you're doing, still nice. If you feel like subscribing, that would be even nicer. Holy shit, 149 people. That's definitely the most I've ever had watching a stream of mine. That's definitely getting up there. Anyone that's new and never saw a stream of mine, I do chainsaw related content, maintaining saws, repairing saws. I've got a 462 on the table right there that I just rebuilt actually on my last stream. The stream before that I tore it apart, and then the last stream I reassembled it. I had like 45 minutes and had vast majority of the parts back together except for the air separator and the carb. I ended up putting it back together and was told the saw wasn't fixable by another shop, and well, it's running now. And it runs like a new saw, so it worked out. I think the most common thing that I end up having to fix though is Still's BR800 backpack blower, because I've got people I work for, they have I think 5 or 6 of them, plus I have my own, and each one has its own problem. A couple of streams ago I completely rebuilt one on stream where I tore the whole thing apart, rebuilt the engine, redid all the silicone seals, everything from scratch, and got the blower running again. It runs great. It's a lot of work, and it's dirty. Oh, nice. How are, I know the company I work for is also in the UK. I know, like, tree climbing stuff is different in Europe. Like, climbers have to use 2 climbing lines, wear chaps in the trees, and everything else. I'm sure emission standards are probably even worse than they are here. So I can't imagine working on saws and equipment, even though it's all probably still relatively the same. But that's cool, man. Come on. Getting oil everywhere. See if I can find one of these really bad ones. It's not that bad. There's another 135 I can do just to get it out of the way. I gotta be creative with how this thing goes. Try and untangle it. Come on, there we go. This one got abused a little bit more than the last 135 I did. It'll all work out. Set up for this chain. Gotta come back a lot farther. Drop my depth gauge. See where I'm at with this. Not quite there. Bring this in a little more. Come on. Not that far. Still in Huskies. Yeah, that's, well, I mean, they're the most common saws in the market, other than, like, you got Echo, which Echo makes a 2511, which is a great climbing saw. It's the most lightweight saw on the market. And then you've got, like, McCullough, which is kind of never been a good saw. But Huskies, I'm not a huge fan of working on them, just because there's really not. Yeah, I can believe it. Just in the last 2 months, I've had, I think, 3 different Husky pieces come through here. That all it was each time was the carbs that had to be replaced because they were just junk. But still has their own carb problems too. I mean, The M-tronic carburetors, like that's one of the main problems that saw had, the new computerized stuff. And I've got a 201T that's sitting on the workbench that I'm pretty sure that's also the carburetor. It's throttling up and doing its own thing, and like it sounds like a tear in the intake manifold, maybe like it's getting too much air inside, but there's no tear in it. I think it's just the carburetor is on the fritz, and being that it's the new computerized one, you can't do anything about it except replace it. I'm not a huge fan of the new carbs, but I mean they run great when they work. You can never manually tune a carb the way that the computer does it. You'll always get the best performance out of it, but once it goes, it's done. It's just, and they're a lot more expensive. Oh yeah, yeah. They still do that on all the Husky saws. Same with Echo, where they put it's like a plastic security cap on top of the screws for the carbs. So you have to kind of like, the best way I found was to stick a screw in and pull them out, because you kind of have to turn them to get them to the right area where it fits out, but it still won't come out. You end up sticking a screw in and yanking the thing out to actually get it to pop out. Then you can actually tune the carb. I guess that's to prevent Joe Schmuckatelli, the homeowner, from messing up the carb on their own because they don't know what they're doing. And saw shops will charge you a ludicrous amount just to tune your carb that you screwed up. Of course, most saw shops will just replace the carb because they don't know if there's anything wrong with it. And hardly anyone rebuilds cards anymore either. Are you guys in England allowed to use leaf blowers anymore? I know here in the United States they're starting to ban them in certain states due to emission stuff. And I know they're a lot more strict in England than they are here with that stuff. I mean, you guys can't even use pesticides. You got, oh, you used to rebuild them. Okay. Well, I guess you guys make a lot more sense than we do. We're just starting to ban leaf blowers. They say it's emissions, but I'm sure it's more along the lines that people don't like their neighbors using them. Doing tree work, trying to clean up after removing a tree with a rake is not, like, you can clean up a lot, but a leaf blower is kind of necessary to clean up all the fine stuff. So it's going to change the game when they do eventually totally ban them. And this chain's a little more ate up than I thought. Definitely hit a rock or two with this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's all a two-stroke. I mean, the BR800 and all the Still series, it's that four mix, but it's still a two-stroke engine. Of course, I had somebody on here arguing, saying that four mix is a four-cylinder, and it's not two-stroke. It's still two-stroke, but I don't think they really knew what was going on. And yeah, there is a lot of electric stuff. Like, I've used, I forget what the numbering system that it is for Husqvarna, but I've used one of their climbing saws. It's an electric saw, and I'm not a huge fan of the battery life. Like, it doesn't, if you're doing a really major climb with a lot of rigging, you don't have enough battery life to actually make it through the whole tree. I mean, sure, you can send it down, get a new battery, but you would have to do that with your saw, get a new gas. But on the flip side, a lot of people can't afford the batteries because the batteries are just ridiculously expensive. The upfront cost is a little bit too much for most people. And if you live in California, you can't even use gas saws in a lot of places, or on trail clearance, a lot of stuff like that, they have to use electric or, forgot to turn the head, electric or something else, like crosscut saws, to be able to clear trails. Makes sense for fire hazards, but that's what a spark arrestor is for. Yeah, it's four mix with valves, yeah, but yeah, this guy was arguing with me and couldn't understand that it was still a two-stroke. I'm like, no man, it's still two-stroke. I mean, you got to mix oil in it. It's still a two-stroke. It's a single piston two-stroke. Not a fan of the four mix. There's too many issues with Still and their four mixes. Like, the valves on the BR800s need to be checked like once or twice a year because they come out or come loose and just gets all weird. And then the newer ones, I have a newer BR800 that just has the hardest time idling. Once it gets warmed up, the saw just decides, or the blower decides it doesn't want to run anymore and shuts off. And then you can't even get it started again. I thought it was the valves. I've replaced everything. The only thing I haven't checked is if the timing came messed up from the factory, which is a possibility. I would like to think that Still's techs, when they put together stuff, are a little more competent than that, but it's the last thing I have to check, and I really don't want to tear it apart and have to redo all the gaskets on it because of somebody else's incompetence when they put it together. Hey, Julia. Yeah, actually what was it, 2 weeks ago, I rebuilt a BR800 that got seized up. The piston was just burned up and destroyed from bad gas mix. They didn't put enough oil in it, and it ruined the blower. But it's running again. I mean, when it would run then, you could get it running with a drill, you could get it started, but it sounded like a Model T. It was awful. Hey Julia, you missed out. There was like 149 people in here at one point. Also, are you up with your family right now? Why are you on here? Yeah, man, it was good talking to you too. Yeah, it's definitely a little late right now. You should probably go to bed. But hey, if you ever want to watch more videos or do live streams, just feel free to subscribe. I'm on here typically about twice a week. Then you can tell me how I'm doing something wrong. Because there are times that I have no idea what the hell I'm doing and it just works out. Almost done with this chain. There we go, finally. Into the oil bath. Thanks, man. I appreciate the sub. Helps me get to that 500 mark, too. Kind of curious how many views this has already gotten today. There were a couple hundred people all at once. Been on here for just shy of an hour. Already had 6,460 people. Dang. It's pretty wild. Wild to me, anyway. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to think of a question for a poll. Cool. All right. Getting back to the chains. These are all 50s. See what this water looks like. They're almost ready. going through these chains pretty fast tonight, which is nice because I would like to not be doing them this weekend. Awesome. So that's actually one of the things I really want to do is military history related content. I got a rather large collection of stuff from the Second World War and First World War, and really what I would prefer to be doing. I'm setting up the sharpening chain I've already sharpened before. There's no way this was used. It's got thrown in with the dull chains and it is sharp. It's not been used. So it's getting in the oil bath and just getting rebagged and sent out. Alright. This one got lightly used. Set up. Far. Yeah, I've actually been collecting military memorabilia almost my entire life, and loved history. One of the few subjects I really enjoyed. What I wanted to go to college for. At a point I wanted to be a museum curator and realized that that's really not a feasible career path if I ever want to do anything with my life. Unless I were to own my own private museum, but I would have to somehow be independently wealthy before that's even possible. I see what they did to this chain. Holy shit. I gotta reset up on this because they thought this looked very lightly used, but this is what happens when you, I don't know if you can see it, hit a piece of metal, it messes up the tooth, and that's the whole opposite side. It hit something, chipped off a bunch of these teeth, so I gotta get set up on the worst one that I can find so that everything can be even all the way across. So they caught it pretty quickly. I think actually that one that I showed is the worst one. And where I'm going to have to take this chain back to is going to make it so this is the last time this chain ever gets sharpened. It is going to be done after this. That's right at the line. Yep. Right on the line of where it can be sharpened to before it's trashed. Bring that back to zero. Get a better spot on here. I think this is actually my most viewed video that I've ever done on here, or any, for live streams anyway. No, I'm doing all this stuff right now so that I don't have to work this weekend and don't really have to do anything this weekend. That's my goal, is to kind of relax anyway, where I don't have anything to worry about. Other than that, I'm not doing anything fun. You're crazy. You think I do fun stuff? I've got so many projects that I could do. It's just a matter of finding time to do them. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I don't have in surplus, is a lot of time. And time is the most valuable thing that we all have, because it's definitely a finite amount that you each get. I am so freaking busy in my normal everyday life. Plus, Julia, it's you know what the weather is right now, right? Like, have you looked out the window? I can't do anything fun. There's like half an inch of ice outside right now. Like, the most fun thing I could do is maybe watch movies or something, because I'm not going outside tomorrow. It's kind of shitty outside right now, like really shitty. It is not great at all. And if you... Hello, Feuer unser Land, I guess. Guess that's the German pronunciation for that. Yeah, I believe the pinnacle destroyed your calves. That uphill portion before the observatory and the pulpit rock that's pretty steep. But it's a good hike. I mean, you get two really nice vistas in one hike. For this area, it's probably one of the best places to go. There's not really much in the way of nice hikes here. I'd have to think of something else, but you'd have to be willing to drive a little bit farther away to get to something nice. There's really not much. You gotta go to New Hampshire to actually get nice hikes. Oh, you did the loop around the reservoir. I haven't actually gone around the reservoir ever. I mean, I've been up there several times, and while I was through hiking, I mean, I walked through there, but I was not willing to go anywhere off the main trail. Chain's gonna take me a while because it's really taking a lot of material off of it. Trying not to overheat these cutting heads. So gripping this grinding wheel is actually making my hand hurt. Much more better. Okay. Well, while you're in New Hampshire, you're definitely going to have to do Mount Washington. That's a given. But if you ever go above New Hampshire, like into Maine, there's definitely some really nice hiking in Maine. Depends on what you want. If you want more coastal hikes or if you want real mountain hikes, you'd have to go to Baxter State Park for real nice mountain hiking to get away from everybody. But if you go to Baxter State Park, I think Millennicket's the closest town, which is you're far away from everybody. I mean, Millinocket is still half an hour away from Baxter. I think they have a gas station, and that's about it. And then you're another couple-hour drive away from anything else. And that's 100-mile wilderness is pretty good experience. But Katahdin is a great hike. If I remember right, it's actually the most prominent mountain on the East Coast. The prominence, anyway. Not the highest, but it has the most defined height versus the surrounding landscape. Got plenty of oats. Oh wow. It's now 50-50 if I did history content. I guess I should have asked, put another question in there, whether they would actually watch my videos at all, whether I did Saul stuff too. Most of the people that are finding this are just scrolling through random live streams, and I just happen to be here while they're on their way trying to find Toilet Bowl Man or some of the other guys, or M stands for money, one of the other homeless people. If you ever want to go down south to go hiking, I would highly recommend going to some of the balds in Tennessee. I mean, they're not really intense mountain hiking, but they're really great views, really relaxing hikes. Everyone that I've ever known says the Smokies are great. My time in the Smokies was absolutely awful and I hated it. But apparently it's a nice place if you're not there, you know, in the spring when it decides it wants to be 40 degrees and raining sideways and 60-mile-an-hour winds. My experience was not good. But it's just like everything in life, your experiences may vary. You might have a great time, I don't know. Alright, this chain's finally done. I'm going to have to take these depth gauges way down because they're screwed up. Exactly 50-50. Well, I appreciate everyone watching that happens by. If you would like to see military history related content, subscribe. Or if you want to see chainsaw related content, subscribe. Apparently I'm doing both because it's 50-50 on my poll. Yeah, I mean, my long form videos, I'm probably going to do military history related stuff, and then these lives I might just continue working while I'm doing the live streams. That's already been sharpened. Let's see if it got destroyed or if it's just me. Son of a bitch. Fingernail with a sharp tooth. That looks good. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go. I think I got one more of the regular 3/8 inch chain in this getting cleaned, and then I've got two more other than the one on here, so I guess 4 total, and then I'll be into the little chains. That 5. Well, if you want any recommendations for places to hike, anywhere on the East Coast, I've probably been there at some point in time. Avoid New Jersey, there's nothing to see. New York, go to the Adirondacks. Stay away from the Appalachian Trail unless you want to see people. Virginia sucks, unless you're in the Shenandoahs. Alright. Hey Julia. Oh, you want to see the pine barrens. I mean, you do you, but I never saw anything nice in New Jersey. If you could ever go back to the Shenandoahs, I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're just driving through, it's very nice. Actually, if you're driving through, the views and overlooks are better. If you're on the Appalachian Trail, you don't really see anything. It doesn't really come out at the vistas. But you can always take the road through the Shenandoahs and come out at the other end, and the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way down through Tennessee also. I forget how long the drive is, but it's all views and vistas for like 400 miles or something. It's a really cool experience if you have a couple days that you're willing to burn and just go for a drive and car camp or something. Oh, what I was going to say is, Julia, if you're here or anyone else that's in the chat, is that ultrasonic cleaner, it should be like a buzzing noise, is that too loud and annoying, or is it like bearable? Ooh, that's a bad beat. Yeah, it's a thing that beeps, and it's like a staticky sound. So it's an ultrasonic cleaner. It's the same thing that they use in like jewelry stores to clean jewelry and whatnot. It's the best thing I've found to clean chains. It gets it the cleanest and is honestly the safest way to do it. But I've been cleaning while I've been streaming and really never asked if it was that loud and annoying that it kind of annoyed people, but I'll try to, from this point on, have everything done prior to actually streaming. I got half of them done this time, at least, before. I figured it's kind of loud in person, but there are certain things that camera audio doesn't pick up, and I didn't know. That's why I asked. Alright, that side's done. Whew. Yeah, well that's nice. At least it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm keeping a healthy 20-some people in here, which is not too bad. Definitely not the 140 I had in here earlier. That was kind of nuts. Never had that many people watching a stream before. They appreciate any view, but $140 was a lot. There's some streamers out there that I've watched that don't get more than 10 people and kind of feel bad. I feel like they do much better quality content than just me grinding away at chainsaw chains or screwing around trying to fix chainsaws that I don't know what I'm doing. Of course, there's definitely got to be someone out there that views this like NASCAR, where they're like, man, I really hope that grinding wheel blows up so I can watch him get hurt. I mean, if this was just over a year ago, I wasn't streaming then, but that's when I got hurt really bad in August last year. There used to be blood stains all over the wall, all over the floor. There's still some on the floor, but it splattered everything. I'm sure that would have probably gotten views. Alright, another chain down. Definitely got a few lurkers out there. And there's 29 people watching, just kind of lurking. Staying quiet, watching me do my thing. And hey, I do the same thing when I'm watching streams. sit there quietly and listen to what they have to say. And once in a while, I troll them. I welcome trolling. If anyone wants to call me some names, go for it. Alright. Shut this thing on. Dig out these chains. This is very hot. The water is just shy of boiling. So it's a little warm. Gotta empty out this water before I really do anything else. Oh boy. Come on. I just hate how chainsaw chains kind of wrap up on themselves. Makes it real fun undoing them, especially when they get all wrapped up while I'm sharpening or after I sharpen. The cutting heads are really sharp and end up cutting myself. And I just did that recently. I just finished sharpening stuff and oiled them and sliced up my hand. That's good. Hey, we're up to 60% on my thingamajigger. Well, I appreciate people voting. I kind of want a good gauge on whether it'd really be worth it to switch over doing more history related stuff. It's what I really actually enjoy doing. I've always been really big into military history and world history and geopolitics. This hot water is melting the plastic pretzel jar. I need to dispose of it quickly before I dump a gallon of boiling hot water on my floor. Give me a second. Gotta step outside and it's freezing rain out there right now and I'm gonna get soaking wet and cold. Whew. rest of this water out. It is icy outside. Holy crap. It is slick and icy. I still got 50 people, and I was outside for a minute. Oh, man. Alright, so everyone that's new on the stream, or has never watched me before, I do chainsaw-related stuff. Tonight I'm sharpening chainsaw chains. And just finished running the next batch through my ultrasonic cleaner. Trying to get these all washed off before I sharpen them. Good enough. Get all the oil and burned on lignin off before I run them through the sharpener. Way I can kind of preserve the lifespan of my grinding head here. I'm sorry, Julia. I know, everyone's waiting on me. That's pretty normal. At work, everyone's waiting on you, but now they're waiting on me. Oh, man. I can't even. All right. This stuff's ready. I'm gonna wipe this out. I'll get back to sharpening. Kind of surprised. I'm actually pretty sure I'm gonna get done with everything tonight. No, count up how many I actually did. It's got to be over 30 in a night, which is not bad. It's more than usual. Where the hell did I put my safety glasses? There they are. Yes, you are the reason we didn't have a long day on Christmas Eve. I give you that. You definitely made it so that you and Josh could go home early. I was still there at 4 something because people left a lot of stuff in the trucks that I had to unload while I was closing. And the other crew didn't get back till late. Alright. I appreciate you, Julia. So anyone that's unfamiliar with what I'm doing, I'm touching up each of these cutting heads, sharpening them on this grinder. It's an Oregon 620-120 grinder. It's one of their more expensive grinding wheels, but it's a lot more efficient for doing large amounts of chains like I'll do. Like tonight, I definitely burned through 30 or more tonight. For the cost also, it's a lot better. Like I think this setup was like $600 with the grinding wheels and everything. Whereas some of the automatic grinders are $2,000 plus or more if you're looking at one of the the bigger setups. So sure, it's automated, but it's not really automated. I mean, it'll get all the cutting heads, but you still have to be there to swap out the chains. You'd need to have multiple grinders set up to be any kind of efficient, which you're talking $5,000+ and that's not worth it if you're doing like 40 or 50 chains a month. That's doesn't make sense for me. Of course, a lot of people out there say hand filing is the best. Sure, it is. I'll give them that. You can do a lot hand filing, but if you're trying to do that in a setting where you're making money, you're not. I mean, you can make pennies an hour if you want to do that. I'm really not into making below minimum wage. This side should be done. What, clipping me saying I don't want to make below minimum wage? I mean, I don't think you want to make below minimum wage either. I don't think anyone wants to make below minimum wage. If you do, then there's a lot of animal shelters you should volunteer at. Then you don't get paid at all, but you're doing something good. Oh. Oh yeah, you better clip that, because otherwise I'm not going to say it again. Alright. Shouldn't take long because this is a skip tooth chain, so it's got about half the amount of cutting heads on it as a full comp chain. Kind of going through it pretty quick, even though it was actually heavily damaged from whoever was using it. One of the topics about those automatic grinders, sure they're extremely expensive and you can burn through a lot of chains, but they don't take into account any of the heat generated by the grinding wheel, so you kind of build up a lot of heat if you're taking a lot of material off. And then you lose that temper in each of the cutting heads. So you kind of, like, sure you can do a lot of chains, but I really don't like the idea of kind of screwing up somebody else's chain for them. Where it just gets duller faster. Get this set up. Good. Still got plenty of people watching. Hey, I appreciate everyone that is watching. If you do enjoy chainsaw related content or any history related stuff, feel free to subscribe. It would help me. I'm trying to get to my goal of 500 subscribers. Hell, even if you don't want to watch any of my videos, subscribe. It will help me remonetize my account. That way I can get monetized again, and then when I do start doing what I actually want to do, the history related stuff, it will pay me. And then whatever I make will end up going back into making more videos. Definitely not going to be some YouTube famous guy, that's for sure. Nobody really cares about history that much. Not gonna become rich off of it, but it would be nice to get some kind of income off of this. That way I can put it back into buying more stuff for the collection or producing better videos related to history topics for those that are interested. I mean, I've collected military memorabilia. The first thing I bought was actually at a flea market when I was 5 years old. I had bought a helmet, an American helmet, and that kind of started my whole collection, and now I collect guns, uniforms, everything from First World War, World War II, up through Korea, and I've got quite a collection at this point. And unfortunately can't really display it in the house that we're in. It's a little bit too small and don't have enough room, but eventually that won't be the case. I'll be able to display it again like I used to, like it deserves. And everything can be taken care of properly. Still got 27 people out there, but I guess I'll go over, because I don't know how fast people cycle through this, whether they're watching or just staying and watching and staying silent, or just new people cycling through. Currently sharpening chainsaw chain. I start the process off by running everything through an ultrasonic cleaner to get all the oil, the burn-on lignin off. And then I bring them over and hit each of these cutting heads. And then they go through an oil bath to get any water off and prevent any kind of flash rusting. They hang to dry until I finish all of the chains. And then I go through each of the depth gauges to make sure each chain is done right, and then they get bagged and sent back out. Well, it's quite a process to go through this many chains in a night. I'm trying to get these done so I can really enjoy my weekend, because I have so many of them here. I don't really want to be doing these tomorrow. There's plenty of other things I prefer to do on my Saturday. Especially with, right now, like I live in Pennsylvania, so it's, we're getting a lot of ice right at the moment. Not even snowing out, it's just ice. And I'm going to be a little busy tomorrow cleaning all that off. But as for why I clean each of these chains, one, it's a more professional look to be handing back a product that's cleaned. But two, it saves my grinding wheel, because each of these grinding wheels is $99. They're diamond grinding wheels, so I can use them for a long time versus I think it's aluminum oxide grinding wheels. Those don't last very long, and you constantly have to dress them. These diamond wheels, there's no dressing. It's just kind of keeping them clean, and then you run them until they're smooth, and then swap them out. But they say that you can do 1,000 chains with one of these. I'm on my second diamond wheel, and I get maybe a third of that out of one. Might be 1,000 chains if all you're doing is lightly touching up each chain and not having damaged chains that you gotta take a bunch of material off. Which that'd be the ideal world where you barely have to do any work. That'd be great. That is not the case. That'll never be the case where everything's ideal. This chain I'm currently doing definitely looks like somebody might have hit asphalt with it or something. Each of the cutting heads are rounded over. Got to take a lot more material off than you normally would want to with each head. It kind of burns up these wheels pretty quick when you have to do this with every other chain. But if you're out there and you're watching the stream, I do other chainsaw related content. Like I rebuilt a 462 on the last stream, the Still MS 462 that another saw shop said wasn't fixable, but on the stream I got it to the point where I got everything but the carb in and the air separator, and just did that earlier today where I finished putting it together, and it's running great. So, not sure what they were talking about saying it was not fixable, but the saw is fixed. It's good to go. And it will get put back to work here next week, right before New Year's. I'll give it a good test run. Make sure everything's running right. It has a new M-tronic carburetor in it, and new piston. What else? I replaced a lot of the gaskets and seals. I also cleaned the shit out of it. That thing was taken apart and every single piece of it was completely clean, so it looks pretty much new except for wear marks on it. But we'll see how it holds up after a day of cutting trees. Going through a day of work is definitely a stress test on it. I don't know, anyone out there, if you haven't ever watched me before, I'm an arborist. I do tree work for a living. This this is more of a side job and a hobby versus my actual job. I climb trees for a living, whether I'm pruning or removing trees. Unfortunately, I will never stream actually doing tree work, so you won't get to see that. I won't be taking any videos of that. It is a little bit too dangerous in my eyes to be live streaming to the public with something that can go horrifically wrong. I don't need that. If anyone's got any questions related to chainsaws or anything, I mean, you can ask literally anything and I'll give you some kind of answer. Whether it's just a ramble of nonsense is totally dependent on what you ask as a question. I've been going for a little over an hour now, an hour and a half. Really appreciate everyone that is watching. I used to do this and didn't stream, and I'd listen to music, but it'd get pretty boring out here. I'd get distracted and actually start watching streams, and then I would be out here for 4 hours doing the same thing that would normally take me an hour, because I would just start watching streams or doing something unrelated and not being productive. The more people I get that actually engage with me and talk, it keeps me busy and keeps me engaged. I don't get quite as bored. Alright, finally done with this chain. I've got all the 3/8 inch chains done. Finally. I'm going to end this pull. Alright, it's definitely split just about 50-50 with that. Yeah, I'll be doing long form videos that are history related, and then keeping the streams chainsaw related for now at least. Most of the stuff that I would want to stream that's history related, YouTube would ban my account, so I can't really do that unless it was like a Q&A thing. Let's see, going into the analytics here, seeing if I can't do something else. Hour and 49 minutes. 8,800 people watched. Wow. trying to see how I can do whatever. I don't understand this. Great highlight, screen lighting, retouch. Playables. I don't want to play any fucking stupid ass games on here. Whatever. Alright, so all the 3/8" chains are done. Now, gotta switch over to the 1/8" grinding wheel. I am excited. I've gone through a lot of chains today. Did a couple before I streamed, but I'm making a lot of progress on this, which I'm certainly happy about. Let me check my phone quick. All right. 8,873 people have watched me stream tonight. That's by far my best stream that I've ever done. By like twice the amount. I've already sharpened this one. There were a couple of these that I had sharpened previously. And never got hung up. This one's sharp. For tonight, how many am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That's 27 that are done. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. All have gone through 35 chains tonight, which is quite a lot. Man, Julia, my mod, is now silent. She must have passed out. time is it? It is 9:30. Been on here for 2 hours. Oh, you're crocheting. Are you trying to make sweaters for your cats? Well, then go to sleep. Well, I appreciate my gift. That was very nice of you. Sleep ambiance. Yeah, I'm apparently a chainsaw AMSR thing. That's what it seems like anyway. My voice just bores people so they fall asleep. That's the only reason they watch. We still got 11 people here. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. And if you didn't, I hope you have a good New Year. And if you don't have a good New Year, I can't help you. I don't know, man. Go back over to this side. Pretty wild that, oh no, if I stay on here a little bit longer, I might actually hit the 10,000 mark for tonight. We'll see, where am I at? 8,954 people have watched this stream at some point tonight. Another 1,100 people over 10,000, which is kind of crazy. I'll have to actually stream tomorrow night if I hit 10,000. I don't know what the hell I would stream. I'm almost out of stuff to do. Trying to figure out how some streamers do it, where they get it so it can have the viewers ask a question. Apparently I can only create a poll. I don't know. I don't understand all this stuff from YouTube. But on the bright side, I'm right at 9,000 people that have watched tonight. Alright, well, I'm never going to figure that out. There we go. I don't do that. There, see if we can get some engagement. You can ask anything. Doesn't have to be related to chainsaws. Preferably not related to my last bowel movement. But I'll share that information too, if you really want to know. I really hope you don't, but you do you. Almost done with these. I got a really rusty one here, and I'm gonna hit that next. See if I can't get that. Oh man. really hate that some of these guys let these chains sit in standing water and they get rust buildup in them, and it's really bad for the chains. They don't care. Just makes my life a little bit more miserable. Got oil everywhere. Don't worry, all my oil-soaked rags immediately go outside of the workshop. I don't even have an oil rag bin because it immediately gets taken out. I don't need to have any fires in here. Come on. So I'm just sharpening chainsaw chains. If anyone out there is new and is not following along with earlier in the stream, I'm now down to the smaller chains for our top handle climbing saws. Did all of the larger 3/8 inch drive chains that were for bigger saws earlier. They're all done, thankfully, because they take the longest time. The most time consuming. Of course, I'm now 2 hours into the stream, so glad they're done. God damn it. That piece that's rusted and bound out. There we go. I had to break it free because there was a lot of rust built up in this. Didn't want to move. Now that I went the other way, it doesn't want to move again. There we go. Guys letting them sit in standing water and letting the chains get all rusty in the links and ends up ruining them. guy's done. Soak it in some oil. Back up to how many people? 18 people. Well, hello everyone that's out there. Hope you had a good Christmas. Thanks for watching. Julia's just sitting there listening to me talking to myself, thinking I'm going crazy. It's actually good. I'm sure my wife can hear me. Wondering what the hell I'm doing. So, nobody has replied to the Ask Me Anything. All right. Hey, if anyone that's watching is into history-related stuff, I collect World War I, World War II stuff, and I also do, obviously, chainsaw stuff. I'm sharpening chains right at the moment, and but the history stuff, if anyone's interested, you can always subscribe. There will be some long-form videos here in the near future that are related to history, or if you just like watching somebody work on chainsaws, that's mainly the only thing that I do with streaming. So if you're interested, subscribe and I will indulge you. As much as I can, anyway. My hands are coated in oil. I only have a couple more chains left to do for tonight. Separating those Speed Cut Nano chains. Alright. Another one that's got a little bit of rust buildup. Wonderful. Come on. What did I do with my on the floor? Alright, where are we at? check this one. Nope. More better. That side's done. So I still got 22 people that are in here. If anyone's interested in chainsaw stuff, feel free to subscribe or just ask me any question. Literally anything. Doesn't have to be related to chainsaws, could be just anything. Preferably not political. One thing I don't want to talk about is politics or religion. Come on. Almost done for the night. Well over 30 chains that have gone through. Slowly getting to the end. I've got 4 left, including this one. And I won't, well, I got 2 more of the 404 chains for the 880s. They'll be the very last thing I do. If anyone's interested in what I'm doing, it's new. I am sharpening chainsaw chain. I am an arborist. I climb trees for a living. That's basically what that means. Whether I'm pruning or removing trees, I'm either in a bucket truck or I'm physically climbing the tree. This last year was a lot more bucket work than climbing. The year previous I climbed a lot. And the year previous to that I climbed a lot. But lately it's more bucket work, which is nice. Except I'm getting out of shape because I'm not climbing anymore. And what little climbing I have this year. I make one of our newer guys do. Kind of nice for me, not so nice for him. Keeps him in shape though. It's a fun job. Learn a lot about trees. But I will not stream or do any videos on doing tree work. One, it's a dangerous job and I really don't want any of that floating on the internet or any accidents. And two, I really don't want to sit for hours editing freaking tree videos. It just does not appeal to me whatsoever. As much as people might want to see it, I don't want to do it. 34 people watching again. Oh, wherever you are. Hope y'all are having a good night. That's good. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm getting thirsty. Red Bull's not the ideal thing to be drinking at almost 10 o'clock at night. But I like the taste. Somebody was using their climbing saw as a ground saw, apparently. Just hit something hard. Must have been trying to do a flush cut on a small tree with it. Because it's like they hit dirt or rock. They shouldn't be using a climbing saw as a ground saw. Anyway, that's it for that side. Switching back over. I guess tomorrow, when I do eventually decide I'm going to stream again, I'll do all the depth gauges tomorrow, because that's going to actually take me quite a bit of time, because I've got just shy of 40 chains to go through, and I got to hit every single one of them. And that's probably going to take me another hour or two. And in an hour or two from now, I would much prefer to be in my bed than be out here. Unfortunately for you guys, I need to sleep. $9,500 views tonight. That's a lot. Alright, now on to the Speedcut Nano chains. These are all 12-inch chains for an Echo 2511T. These are full chisel, better than the chains that we use on their 201s. Set that for 043. I'll wait for this cutting head to stop. There we go. I don't want to take off too much material on these. These set 2.5. All right, that's great. So this Oregon grinder definitely does the job and gets it done pretty quick. Very efficient. Some of their lower end models, you actually have to do a clamp every time. This hydraulic clamping system is much more efficient. I do wish it would actually return up here though. It sets here and still has the chain locked in. I thought redoing the hydraulic system would actually help it raise up, and or putting more fluid in would, and it doesn't. It's just the way it is. The one thing I don't like about this is it kind of doesn't raise up far enough to actually take the chains out every time you're done. And sometimes you end up with your hands full trying to lift the chain. You end up having to use your head to push up the grinding wheel. Kind of look goofy. Is there anybody out there that has any questions related to chainsaw stuff? Or anything, really? You're just here to listen to my voice. Alright. That's one of two. Geez, 2,700 people. Alright. One last speed cut nano, and then I'll be off to the 404 chains, but I might take a minute before I do them. Go to the bathroom and non-stop. Go to the bathroom and kind of reset. side's done. Switching it over again. Still got 20 people out there. Hello, everybody. Just so quiet. All done with this. Great. Whew. Alright. Whoa, what the hell? Alright. It's got to be 123 drive links. Should be 058. Alright, before I actually get into this and start doing the next setup with these. Oh, I skipped one. I've got, that's a 404, and I've got two more over here that are not 404. Doesn't matter, it's still the same grinding wheel head for both. I just gotta get these ready to go. Undo this tangled mess of chain. Switch the head back over. I'm going to use the bathroom before I do anything else. I've been out here for 2.5 hours and have not stopped to use the restroom or anything. And I need to go. It'll only be gone for a couple of seconds or a minute or two. I'll be right back. But I guess in the meantime, I might set up the camera so it looks out the door at the freezing rain or something to view while I'm not currently available. Because I am not taking the camera with me into the bathroom. We're getting a lot of freezing rain right now. And there's a little bit of snow, but it's mostly sleet and freezing rain. Get this coat on. I don't know what the hell I did with my beanie. There it is. It's freaking cold outside. Let's see. I'm gonna move this camera. And you guys can enjoy the mic over there. Alright, I am finally back. Freaking snow and ice everywhere. Welcome, whoever is still watching at the 2 hour and 41 minute mark. We've had over 10,000 people watch tonight, which is crazy. Most I've ever had by factor of 2. But we're just sharpening chainsaw chains. That's it. Nothing crazy. Not tearing apart any saws tonight. Not rebuilding anything. Nothing's broken right at the moment. Thankfully. But these gotta get done, and might as well do them while I'm here. Changing out the grinding wheel. If anyone's interested in chainsaw sharpening, this is an Oregon 620-120 grinder. It's probably the best of the cheaper grinders on the market before you get into the automatic ones that are extremely expensive. Talking 2,000 plus for a grinder, which is not very great for how much you actually make when you sharpen a chain. Bring that in a little more. Hair more. There we go. That's where I want to be. Got some dirt on this one still, even though it went through the cleaner. This is a 123 drive length chain. It's for, we run it on our 880. It's a 42-inch bar. Kind of big. .880 is the largest production saw still makes. This is one of them. It's I'm 6 feet tall, and this is my entire torso for a chainsaw. Alright, shouldn't be too much longer on this thing to skip through half as many cutting heads as a full comp, so even though it's a longer chain, it'll go relatively quickly, or we should. I guess I should probably put my safety glasses on before somebody says something about it. That's it for that side. $10,305 people have watched so far tonight. Almost done. Last tooth. Alright. I got 2 more after this, and I'm done for the night. Oh, God. Alright. This is an 84. 84 being drive length, so it'd be for a 24-inch bar. Perfect. I can be relatively quick setting this grinder because I do this so often that it really only takes a turn here and there, and I can get it right on where I want it. Start hitting these chains as quick as possible. That's it for this side. Down to 3 people watching. Not surprised, everyone's going to bed. And I should be too here relatively shortly. We've got 1 more chain after this to do, and I will be going to bed. That's it. One last one after this one. This is a 91 skip tooth. That'd be for a 28-inch bar. Need a paper towel. Still 5 people here. Hey, if anyone wants to see chainsaw related stuff, that's pretty much all I do while I'm on live. Feel free to subscribe. It certainly helps the channel. That way I can get towards that 500 subscriber goal. And then I can remonetize my channel. That would be great. I'm at 466 subscribers. I need 34 more. That's it. Need to re-hit the tooth I already did. Almost done. great. Finally done with all the chains for the night. Burned through 30 something, almost 40 chains in a night. And now I'll do the all the depth gauges tomorrow. I may or may not stream while I'm doing that. I might. So I gotta also clean up all the ice at work. 'Cause we've gotten now a little over half an inch of ice outside, so I gotta go in and clean up all the trucks because I'm sure everything's coated in ice, which is great, wonderful. But I am done for the night out here. Everything's coated in oil. And I think I can end my stream, and I'm going to go in and go to bed. So have a good night, everyone.